Hi, I'm Turan, welcome to Cold Smoking. This is part 3 of a series of taking a salmon apart. In this particular episode we're going to be taking off the rib bones, which are here, and we'll also be trimming up the edge to make it look nice. We've got a lot of belly fat here which we don't really need. We're not going to throw it away, we'll use that for making something else. And we're going to just be left with a really nice piece of salmon that we can then cure to make smoked salmon. So first thing we need is a knife with a little bit of flexibility in it, and you can see this knife here is a boning knife. It's got a nice sort of filleting, it's a filleting knife really, that's the best way of describing it. And it's got quite a bit of flex in it. This allows us to get some shape in the knife when we're actually cutting, which allows us, you can obviously see there, if you look closely, that the bones have actually got a bit of a curve on them, and it's nice when we make our cut to try and get in there and get a bit of a curve on the knife so that we can fit underneath that curve to take off as much meat as we can and leave as little on the bones as possible. It's a very sharp knife as well, so we want to be careful with that. Okay, so let's crack on. First thing we want to do, now it might be better if you come round, because I'm left-handed, you're going to see a load of elbow there, so if you come round the other side, that's it. We can then just start making a cut. Now the rib bones on the salmon, they do actually start quite a way back, and we want to just try and get behind those as best we can. And we'll just loosen them at the front here. Once we've loosened them, we can move them back. Now, if you want to do this yourself, obviously it takes a little bit of patience. You don't have to rush this. Guys that do this every single day do this very, very quickly. It's not a process that you want to really rush. But just take your time and work methodically and slowly. And as you see, that we can actually remove that quite nicely. So let me just trim that. So you've got a very thin piece of belly fat there, which we don't want. And we want to make this look nice as well. So we'll just take this out here. This takes the fin out. Just move it slightly over here, so we've got it situated a little bit more centrally on the board. There we are, we'll just trim that. And we won't throw this stuff away, we'll keep this for later. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. And just finally, I want to have a quick inspection of that. And we'll just take a little sliver off here just to make it look a little bit more even. That's it. Now I said once the rib bones are out, we want to take off some of this around the base. We've still got some of the tail here. And all we do is we'll just chop around here. This is really more about aesthetics than anything else, keeping it nice and rounded and clean. Just take off some of this excess skin. When this does cure in the salt, it will shrink a little bit. I'll take some of these scales off. Don't need those. It's always nice to try and work as flat as you can with fish. You don't want to be too aggressive with it, nice and firm, but try and be quite gentle with it. If you open the flakes up when you come to salt it, you'll just put too much salt on and you'll over-cure it. Okay, just one final little cut around here. There we go. And that's now ready to be salt cured. So we'll show you that in a second. But what I'll do now is I'll just very quickly show you the pin bones in here. And these are intramuscular bones. And you can see, now if I had my tweezers with me now, I'd probably have a go at taking one of these out just for the camera, but I usually leave this until after I've cured the salmon because it comes a bit firmer. You can see these little muscles, these little bones here in between the muscles, and they're not actually attached to the skeleton, they're intramuscular bones. So these are called pin bones, and you have to take them out. They run up to about here. You can feel them with your finger, and that's a great way of actually identifying them. You just flick them with your finger, get your tweezers and pull them out. But if the flesh sinks a little bit, the bones protrude and it's easier to do that. Right, so that's the end of part 3. In the next stage, what we're going to be doing is applying some salt to this and getting it into the fridge so that it can cure.